Hello, I am Sir Mark. Let us discuss pre-Socratic philosophers. Pre-Socratic philosophers ask some big questions about life, nature, existence, and origin of all things around us. By looking at the world through their eyes, we can better understand how we fit into the bigger picture of our environment. Their old but wise thoughts can help us see how our lives are connected to everything around us, even in our modern world. Let us rediscover Pythagoras. He is often credited with being one of the early figures to use the term philosophy. Pythagoras, an ancient Greek philosopher and mathematician, is best known as the founder of the Pythagorean school of thought. Pythagoras held the belief that the universe is structured according to numerical principles and that everything is a reflection of analogies and geometric relationship. In this worldview, numbers, music, and philosophy were intricately linked. Pythagoras established the Pythagorean school, a center of philosophical and mathematical exploration. Pythagoreans passionately championed the study of mathematics. They perceived numbers as not merely controlling the physical realm, but as vessels containing profound truths about the nature of reality in itself. Their perspective contributed to the foundation of mathematical philosophy, influencing subsequent philosophical and mathematical developments. Pythagoreans led an ascetic lifestyle, practicing self-restraint and refraining from indulging in various pleasures, including certain foods. Their commitment to vegetarianism and their emphasis on the significance of camaraderie were integral to their way of life. The Pythagoreans embraced the concept of the transmigration of soul, asserting that the soul can migrate from one body to another following death. This cycle of life and death was believed to involve reincarnation across various forms, including dust, plants, animals, and humans. Interestingly, the Pythagoreans avoided consuming certain foods such as peas. This dietary choice was rooted in their spiritual convictions as they believed that these foods might contain the souls of their departed relatives. Pythagoras was also famously known for the Pythagorean theorem, which describes the relationship between the sides of a right triangle, a cornerstone in the realms of both geometry and mathematics. He was a pioneering thinker who conceptualized the brain as the locus of both sensory perception and cognitive faculties. Let us learn about Xenophanes. Xenophanes made noteworthy contributions to ancient Greek philosophy, particularly within the realms of metaphysics, epistemology, and theology. According to Xenophanes, the world is made of a single underlying substance or principle, which he referred to as the one or the whole. He believed that this underlying principle was a divine and eternal entity that encompassed everything in existence. Xenophanes questioned the anthropomorphic attributes of God or human-shaped God. He is often remembered for criticizing the traditional gods of Greek stories, which people imagine to be like humans. He explained this by saying that if all animals like oxen, horses, or lions could draw, they had make their gods look like themselves, as oxen, horses, or lions. This show how people tend to think of gods as like themselves or their surroundings. Xenophanes strongly criticized the idea of giving human traits and behaviors to the traditional Greek gods. He thought that these gods were simply created by people's imaginations and didn't represent any higher moral or ethical values. Instead, he suggested a different idea of God, one that is singular, unchanging, and all encompassing. This perspective is like an early version of believing in one all powerful God or monotheism because he thought there's just one divine source that goes beyond human like images. This criticism set the stage for future philosophical talks about what divinity truly is and how gods are connected to concept of God and wrong. Xenophanes suggested that the Earth's form was molded by natural processes over a span of time, which was quite different from the usual myth-based explanation. So this is the prelude of the concept of Pangaea, that scientists understand the Earth's history and how the world have shifted and changed over millions of years. He also highlighted the fossilized marine life discovered on mountaintops as proof of the Earth's transformation or evolution. This can be seen as the early example of using direct observations from nature to understand how the world works. Xenophanes challenged the reliability of human knowledge. For him, people typically tend to confidently assert that their beliefs are true and accurate representations of reality. However, he questioned whether humans could ever achieve complete knowledge. He believed that human perceptions and comprehension had limitations and could be mistaken. The skeptical perspective had a lasting impact on later philosophers who pondered questions about what we can truly know and the boundaries of human understanding and human reason. Allow us to meet Heraclitus. Heraclitus was an ancient Greek philosopher and one of the Pre-Socratic philosophers. He is often referred to as the obscure due to the aloof and paradoxical nature of his writing. Heraclitus' contributions to philosophy revolve around these ideas on change, there is no forever, the nature of reality, and the unity of opposites. Heraclitus used fire to express his concept on origin of the environment. He famously used the element of fire as a symbol to represent his philosophy of constant change and flux. He saw fire as a metaphor for change because it is dynamic, ever-shifting, and transformative. Just as fire is constantly changing and transforming the substances it interacts with, Heraclitus believed that the entire universe was in a state of continuous change. Everything originates from fire, and in the process of eternal cycles, everything returns to it once more. Fire transforms into water and earth, and this transformation is reciprocated. Water and earth also turn back to fire. One of his most famous sayings is, "You cannot step into the same river twice," which illustrates his belief that everything is in a state of constant flux and change. Heraclitus believed that change was the fundamental nature of the universe and that everything was interconnected. Heraclitus posited that all things in nature are in a state of perpetual flux. Change is the only thing that does not change. He also introduced the concept of the unity of opposites, expressing that conflicting elements are necessary for balance and harmony. For example, he argued that war and peace, hot and cold, and day and night are interdependent and create something. He described the world as logos. He used the term logos to describe his understanding of the world. In his philosophy, logos signifies an underlying principle or order that governs the universe. It encompasses the idea of a rational, divine force that maintains harmony amidst the constant change and flux that he believed characterizes the world. The concept of logos in Heraclitus' philosophy bears significant resemblance to the way the term it is used in the Gospel of St. John. In Heraclitus' philosophy, logos signifies the rational organization and interconnection present within the universe. Similarly, in the Gospel of St. John, the word or logos is employed to depict the divine creative power that brings the world into existence and communicates spiritual truths. Introduced to Parmenides. Parmenides is a young contemporary of Heraclitus. He is the opposite of his predecessor, Heraclitus. He argued that change and plurality were mere illusions, and that true reality is an eternal, unchanging, and undivided existence. He introduced the radical concept that our senses can be misleading, and that genuine understanding requires reliance on reason and rational thinking. He was dissatisfied with the philosophical views of his predecessors. He believed that the entire universe consists of one thing which never changes, has no parts, and can never be destroyed. He calls this single entity as the One. He challenged Heraclitus' premise that change is the only thing that does not change. He firmly believed that the world must encompass an element of permanence that is eternal, unchanging, and undivided. So this is the prelude of the attributes of what God is: eternal, unchanging, undivided. He asserted that what is, or true reality, is unchanging and eternal, while what is not refers to the realm of illusions and falsehoods. This idea had profound implications for his view of reality and knowledge, emphasizing the importance of discerning between the unchanging truth and the fleeting appearances that deceive our senses. He is recognized as the founder of the Eleatic school of philosophy, which was a prominent philosophical tradition in ancient Greece. Notable philosophers who were associated with the Eleatic school include Zeno of Elea and Melesus of Samos. They further developed and expanded upon Parmenides' ideas, contributing to the growth of this philosophical tradition. This school focused on metaphysical inquiries and sought to understand the fundamental nature of reality. He made a groundbreaking contribution to the field of natural science as well. He is credited with being the first thinker to deduce the earth as spherical in shape. This demonstrates his keen observation and willingness to explore not only abstract concepts but also the physical world. This is the prelude notion that Earth is not flat but a spherical shape, which later revealed and defended by Copernicus and Galilei. Get to know Empedocles. Empedocles was an ancient Greek philosopher, poet, and scientist. He stood apart from his predecessors by embracing pluralism rather than subscribing to the monist idea of a single fundamental element that constitutes the universe. Empedocles is famous for proposing the theory that all matter is composed of four elements such as earth, water, air, and fire. He believed that these elements combined and separated through the forces of love or attraction and strife or repulsion, leading to the formation of the physical world. He believed that the universe underwent cycles of combination and separation influenced by these opposing forces. The cyclical cosmology contributed to early Greek ideas about the origins and evolution of the cosmos. Let us meet Anaxagoras. Anaxagoras was an ancient Greek philosopher in a city in what is now modern-day Turkey. He proposed that the basic substance of the universe is indefinitely divisible and that everything consists of small particle called nous, mind or intellect. The universe is organized and governed by this cosmic mind, which is responsible for creating order out of chaos. He departed from the mythological explanations of natural phenomena that were prevalent in his time. He sought to provide rational and scientific explanations for the workings of the natural world, attributing phenomena to natural causes rather than actions of gods. He suggested that the moon had mountains and valleys, which indicated his attempts to understand celestial bodies through naturalistic observations. Be familiarized with Democritus. Democritus was an ancient Greek philosopher and polymath, an individual who possesses expertise in a wide range of fields. He is primarily known for his pioneering work in the field of atomism, which laid the foundation for modern atomic theory. He claimed that all things are comprised of atoms, comes from atomos, meaning indivisible or incapable of being cut. He is famous for developing the theory of atomism, which proposed that everything in the universe is composed of indivisible and indestructible particles called atoms. He believed that atoms vary in size, shape, and arrangement, and that their interactions give rise to the diversity of the material world. He contends that color and taste lack inherent reality. Instead, our senses perceive them as such due to sensory interactions. He introduced the concept of indeterminism, which suggests that the universe operates based on the interactions of atoms without any predetermined fate or divine intervention. He believed that events occur due to natural causes rather than the influence of gods. He contributed to ethical philosophy by emphasizing the pursuit of inner happiness or eudaimonia through moderation and self-control. He believed that understanding the natural world and aligning one's desire with reason would lead to a content and fulfilled life. The Pre-Socratic philosophers were ancient Greek thinkers who lived before the time of Socrates and focused on fundamental questions about the nature of the world. They were driven by a quest to discover the primary cause or substance that underlies all of existence. Through keen observation, inquisitive minds, and philosophical reasoning, each of these philosophers proposed unique theories to explain the origin and nature of the world. Thales believed that it is water. Anaximander proposed that there is an infinite boundless. Anaximenes introduced that it is air. Pythagoras argued it is the numbers. Xenophanes postulated that it is the one. Heraclitus offered it as fire. Parmenides re-echoed that it is the one. Empedocles combined water, air, fire, and earth. Anaxagoras raised a premise that it is the mind, while Democritus assimilated it is atom. Technology, devices, and equipment in pre-Socratic era were significantly more limited compared to our today's standards. While some of their ideas might appear outdated, obsolete, or unconventional to us now, what remains crucial to acknowledge is that they are brave and afraid to ask questions about our environment, our world. They endeavored to provide explanations for the phenomena that envelop us. They achieve this by closely observing and comprehending the tangible elements within our environment.